You've probably heard about Apple's iPhone and Apple Watch announcements. Well, we're here at Apple Park to get a closer look at all of it. The iPhone XS and XS Max were the star of Apple's Keynote event. These two new phones take after their predecessor, the iPhone X, but other than the gold finish and a bigger screen model and a processing chip capable of running heavy AR graphics, there's really not much of an upgrade. The iPhone XS has the same screen size as the iPhone X, utilizing a 5.8-inch OLED display that they're calling a Super Retina display. It has Face ID just like the X, it has wireless charging just like the X. It's a lot like the X. The biggest differentiator is the new A12 Bionic chip. It's an upgrade from iPhone X's A11 Bionic chip, and it's Apple's most powerful chip yet. It uses a new neural engine which utilizes machine learning. The iPhone X also had a neural engine, but this one is quite a bit faster. Apple says the A12 Bionic chip is 9 times faster than the A11 in the iPhone X, allowing it to handle AR graphics, console-like gameplay, and image processing with faster speeds and more power. It also speeds up Face ID detection, which is great. The camera system is better too. They've added dynamic depth of focus functionality so that you can adjust how blurry the background of your photo is. Samsung has had that functionality on its last few phones, but honestly, from the first look, I think Apple does a better job at separating the subject from the background, resulting in a better blurring effect. Maybe it's the algorithm, maybe it's the magic. Whatever it is, it looks great, and I'm really glad to see that functionality on this phone. The XS models also have something called Smart HDR, which functions a lot like normal HDR, combining two photos of different exposures to create a photo with a wider range of luminosity, so your photos are more like what you'd actually see with your eye. But sometimes HDR is just not fast enough, or needs more exposure to get truly perfect photos. That's where Smart HDR comes in. It takes multiple photos and varying exposures in quick succession. But these are, honestly, more firmware updates. Yes, I'm sure the A12 Bionic chip is better and faster. I definitely felt it. But most of those things don't rely on new hardware to function. Where we see the biggest difference in hardware is on the iPhone XS Max. The Max boasts a 6.5-inch nearly bezel-less display, which is pretty massive. It's a 1/10 of an inch larger than Samsung's Note 9 that just came out. The battery life is also better on the XS and the XS Max, but the Max has the biggest battery of any iPhone to date. It also comes in 3 colors, silver, space gray, and the new gold look. Both the XS and the XS Max will have 3 different storage capacities: 64 gigabytes, 256 gigabytes, and 512 gigabytes, which is as much space as the Note 9's internal memory storage. Pricing is similar to the iPhone X. The iPhone XS starts at $999, and the XS Max is the first iPhone to break $1,000 from the get-go, starting at $1,099. The iPhone XR is the biggest one more thing that we could have gotten this year. Apple usually announces something unexpected at the end of their keynotes.
One more thing. One more thing.
But we do have one more thing.
But this year, we got the XR. The iPhone XR is Apple's new entry-level phone, sort of like the iPhone 8 was last year. It uses an LCD screen instead of an OLED screen, seen on the XS and the XS Max. LCD screens are usually lower in quality, which is why they're cheaper, but Apple says this one's pretty good. They've even given it a fancy name, Liquid Retina. But it's actually bigger than the iPhone X and the XS, with a 6.1-inch screen. So it sits perfectly between the XS and the XS Max. The XR will come in 6 different colors, harkening back to the iPhone 5C. It comes in black, white, blue, yellow, coral, and red for their collaboration with Product Red. The XR has very similar internal specs as the XS series, which is nice. It uses the same A12 Bionic chip with the same neural engine and other upgrades. Apple usually has lower internal specs for their entry-level phones, but this year they're really similar, which is really cool to see. The camera on the XR utilizes 1 lens on the back instead of 2, but the image quality is very similar to the X. It even supports portrait mode, which uses AI to detect the subjects and background, and blurs the background appropriately. It seems like they're taking cues from Google, where 1 camera can be just as impressive as 2. The XR also includes wireless charging and faster Face ID, so it's really a solid option if you're not willing to drop a cool grand on a phone. Seriously, besides the screen quality, there's very little to deter you from buying this phone if you're trying to decide between the 3. The XR starts at $749. All of these phones will run on iOS 12, which is launching on September 17th, and will be available for all iPhone models from the 5S up. The Apple Watch Series 4 has the same aesthetic as the Apple Watches before it, but it has a 30% bigger screen and better battery life than its predecessors. It's thinner too, thank goodness. Apple has built new sensors into the watch to track your heart more accurately. You can record an electrocardiogram, or ECG, right from your watch using a paired app and electrodes located on the watch's back and the crown. This will give you a better sense of your heart's health and can signal you if there's anything weird going on, like an irregular heartbeat. You can even print these results and give them to a doctor to analyze. It's basically a heart monitor on your wrist, which is crazy to think about. It seems very specific, but definitely cool and useful. This has the potential to change the way that people think about their health. Series 4 can also detect falls using a faster accelerometer and gyroscope to know when you've fallen and alert family members or emergency responders. That's definitely great for differently abled people and elderly people that live by themselves. It's not a crazy, flashy, geeky update, but it's definitely one that's important and one that's going to bring in a new demographic for this product. The new watch faces are really cool too. My personal favorite is one that shows you how to slow down your breath. It encourages you to slow your pace and relax, which is something we can all use for sure. Apple gave the watch new speakers that are 50% louder. Why would a watch need louder speakers, you ask? Well, for phone calls and for the walkie-talkie feature that they'll be rolling out with watchOS 5. The Apple Watch Series 4 will be available on September 21st. It starts at $399 for the regular watch and $499 for the cell-enabled watch. All of these products will be rolling out throughout September and October. We'll be doing more in-depth reviews of most of the products when we get our hands on it and really get to know it a little bit better. But for now, I'm really excited about them. I have to admit, I was hoping for some crazy announcement like a teleportation feature, a lot like they had in the opening scene of their keynote.
That's a serious upgrade.
Until then, though, we have some really cool products to hold us over.